Because it's not always the Holy Spirit in the middle of our emotional party. What we need is to see a return of this power of grace in our lives to where we actually think Jesus told the truth when he said, greater things than these shall you do. Because for the most part, the church thinks Jesus lied. I know, because I hear the complaints. You know what our problem is in the church? This is the complaint. Our problem is in the church, nobody's doing greater things than Jesus did because we don't have consecrated people, because we don't have holy people, because we don't have dedicated people. And I say to you, we're so in love with the supernatural that we cannot see the nose at the end of our face. The reality is we are doing greater things than Jesus was able to do when he was on this earth. Oh, really, Pastor? I've never seen anybody walk on water or roll Lazarus' stone away and bring out the dead. How do you think we're doing greater things? Because when you unleash the power of grace into people's lives, you do something Jesus could never do. New creation. Jesus didn't walk around in his earthly ministry making new creations. He couldn't release people into being born again. He hadn't yet died on the cross. He hadn't risen from the grave, and he had not empowered his church with the Holy Spirit. But in one moment at Pentecost, Peter preaches, and 3,000 people, what happens to them? None of them eat loaves and fishes. None of them walk on water. None of them come out of a natural tomb. But 3,000 people go from being an old man to a new man in a split second. And somewhere over the balcony of heaven, Jesus looks down and says, that's what I'm talking about. Jesus looks down and says, I couldn't do that. But you can do that by releasing people into the power of grace. And yet grace is becoming, I'm freed, doesn't matter what I do. And while you're free, and while he'll love you no matter what you do, why would we want a grace that might be considered ours in vain when we could have been energized by the grace of God?